it is not the best design. It's not a design that we would like to see. So
I've seen a date of this of June 19th. Why wouldn't we do
Travis
this
has been
instead
working
of?
on trying to get numbers on this for a long time now.
Yeah, but it's, I'm saying if it wasn't part, so you were, this was never part of the referendum, and I don't understand why. This is a part that actually needed to get done versus the other stuff. And maybe I'm just venting a complaint at this point, but stuff like that, that's ridiculous in my mind, because we're not taking care of the taxpayers. We're doing stuff that might not even improve education.
One of the things
when
that
we got this.
One of the things we talked about is that when you have all the contractors here, the goal is to get the inside of the building complete. And Joel, to be fair, that parking lot has nothing to do with the quality of education whatsoever, right?
But I'm
it does
also
have to
taking
do
a
with
look-
maintenance of the district and taking
Absolutely.
care of our facilities, right?
But we did a lot of stuff as part of the referendum, in my opinion, that had nothing, that this would have taken a much larger priority. And maybe we should start, is there something else we don't know?
Well,
That's
one of
gonna
the
be
things we
coming
did
up,
do is
but-
it was never a part of the scope, okay?
Well, should have been.
So, but it wasn't, and I actually feel like we've been pretty transparent about it not being.
I don't think it was
included.
transparent at
Okay,
all.
so in the meantime, we did have a dollar amount of $500,000.
Sure.
And we are trying to figure out how to bring that down, how to pare that down, how to pare that down. So the final dollar amount, after coming up and working with Bray on a different solution and working with a local contractor, was $245,000 plus some of these contingencies of $277,000. So that's where we're at as far as, and the goal is to not, this is a report. We're asking
Sure.
for some guidance from people. What would next steps be? One of the things we see, costs continue to increase. Yeah, so we're looking at you and what to do. Mr. Fink, Travis, and I have been at meeting after meeting, and the focus truly has been on the inside of the building, knowing that this has always been out there. It actually, when Findorf handled this project, at the time of bids, this was always considered an alternate. So, and the inside HVAC and electrical and plumbing needs trumped this, is what happened. So looking at the building and making sure that the HVAC, electrical, and plumbing needs for what was considered the alternate part of scope, which was brought to the board and was approved, that was what was weighing this out the entire time. So it wasn't renovation and paint, it was guts and infrastructure at Mayville High School that was opposite of this. So to me, let's get that guts infrastructure done, and this is a separate project, and it really is, because we could do this a year from now, we could do it 2 years from now. We have a sense of urgency because we really wanted to get it done. You know, the whole entire time it's been this, come on, let's get this whole piece done and say, yep, we are complete with bulldozers at Mayville High School. You know, in the meantime, it did not fit into the budget, and after all the meetings over and over, here we are, and we just wanted to give it a fair shake, to share with you, hey, this is the information that we have. We had a plan A, which was a different design. We worked with Bray, we came up with another one. We took this out to bid on our own, locally, and from there, we had a contractor who stepped up and gave us very wide open, here's all the information that goes with it. Another that said, no, I'm too busy, and then we have just a general estimate from.
Is there any way to make sure we get 2 other bids then at least?
That's what we want to talk about with you. So as far as just being open, so I would say sure, and then in the meantime, we had people deny. So it comes down to timeliness is what it is, and the direction of the overall group here. So if there's, go out and let's get some more, okay. That process would be probably for summer 2020, it would be. There's no way that we could get those numbers in time for something to be done this summer. We found out from this contractor that there would need to be a commitment ASAP if we were trying to do anything this summer. And Travis has been working on this for about, I would say, a month and a half, 2 months. It has always been, come on, let's get some numbers, let's do this. And let's go out to bid. District policies, we look for 3, right? So we're trying to get 3, here we go. So, yeah, I guess we're open to it.
Well, one was Findor's.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could consider that, I mean, but in the meantime, having one of these companies say, no, we're too busy, does put us in a position where it's like, okay, what are the next steps? We tried for a 3rd, did not get it.
And the one thing we did add a little more, we put more sidewalk in than was originally drawn even on the first plan. That leads to a big parking lot.
Right, so if you look at Plan B, what we've experienced this winter, and will experience again, is when our students park in the student parking lot, and it's after school starts, it's in the middle of the day, they actually have to walk, and they have to walk through our actual driveway. There's no sidewalk for them to make it to the school. So as far as a safe route to school, they have to walk right in the middle of the road right now. So they have to walk like in this side, on the other side, they have to walk through. So there's no sidewalk. So it's like, okay, well, we got a design flaw, so let's see what we can do to get it fixed. So I guess, you know, the deal is, you can't vote, it's not a topic to vote on here. We're just looking for direction with people who have been working on the facilities for quite some time here on what next steps would be for this. If next steps are go get 3 official competitive bids, then that's what it is. If next step is bring this ASAP, let's get it done, you have all the information you need, that's what it is. If it is, don't ever bring this back again, then that's what it is. So we need your guidance at this point in time as a group. And Dick and Jim, if you have any other things as board members at this point in time, welcome.
Well, I guess the comment I would add, I would very much like to see us be able to go ahead and complete that work. I guess I'm not concerned. I mean, I think we do have three bids. I think the bid we have, the low bid we have is, I think, looks very reasonable to me. I guess my biggest concern is where we would be able to get the funding to do it.
I have something, and
And the other thing, that other bid did have half the bid to it, and the cement work was many, many dollars more, so if he come in with the same amount for the contractor, the general work, it would have been much higher.
so, right? So one of the things would be is, because I mean, right now I'm fully aware of the fact that we've built our budget for this upcoming school year. Right now, I will share with you that with the current state of the state in Wisconsin, it looks like we're about 90,000 negative, but that could easily change. We've got to get back into open enrollment and enrollment numbers, and we'll be doing that this week to give you a formal budget update on the 15th. There haven't been that many changes. August 1st, I meant to say. There haven't been that many changes in open enrollment this summer. The alternate window is open, and it's had minimal changes, but last year in the month of August, there was a lot of activity, so we just have to have our projections. So when we met with Ryan, our Director of Finance, to talk about our history of our fund balance and kind of state of the state with all of that and where we have been. The back page actually probably gives you the best descriptor. It has a chart of the ups and downs of the fund balance. And our fund balance policy states that we should have at least 15%, okay, as it relates to Fund 10. So historically, we're going back all the way to 2000, 26.42, dropped to 22.3. So our lows have been 22.3, 22.61 in 2008-09. In 14-15, it went down to 23.4%. So our policy says we should have 15%. As a superintendent, of course, I'm great with 28%, 32%, right? 26, all of those numbers. All these numbers are great, actually, in the big picture for the state of Wisconsin. And there's not one of these numbers that is not something that the district should celebrate. whether it's on way on the high end or the low, okay? And I do think, though, that the way that schools are being funded today, I have no idea how a district like Mayville could get to that 38%. I have no, it's not, all the strategies in the world, I don't think can do that, other than absolutely just doing major reductions and major actions to somehow increase all those revenues, but definitely could have a target to increase fund balance. So, in this, Brian has, on this chart, we have our 18-19 budget at 27.34. He's projected through our forecast that we're gonna be around 26.39. Okay, and then ending at 26%, 26.03%. So that's where we would be at. With a project like this, we would be at 22.31% if we were to fund the $223,000 additional cost above and beyond the capital maintenance allocation.
Personally, I think this is a project that should wait. Number one, the cost. Number two, I don't feel ethically comfortable with not having 3 solid bids for the taxpayers either.
Come up with the names. We worked hard at it.
I'm just saying I wouldn't feel ethically comfortable.
Well, that's, and the other thing, we had a few surprises on the roof. The laws changed from the time we started till the time we put the roof on. We had to put 3 more inches of insulation on top.
To bring it to code.
And then we had to move the roof units up because we added 3 more inches of insulation on the roof. But that's a future savings, so.
Barring some additional totally unforeseen, I mean, do we feel that we probably are not going to have to use or spend into our fund balance based on the budget projection we have? I mean,
There's no way I believe that we could move ahead and the $220,000 to $233,000 be able to just secure that at this point in time. Like, that would be amazing. So, one of the things that I think that we have been feeling as the people coming to these meetings on a weekly basis is a sense of urgency, which would really love to be done. I guess just kind of taking that hat off and being like, we could, during the school year, and Lee probably doesn't like me saying this, you know, because like, we could have a job site in the front of the school. We could do that. I don't know where other contractors are at, but you could be doing asphalt work in the month of October.
Boy, they do that.
You know, November, starting to get a little shaky.
That depends on the year.
You know,
It
right.
could end in October. Sometimes
So,
it
I
could
mean,
early.
yes, we could lock it down,
But
because
it
right
does-
now they're saying.
It does cost more, the price of the product, because they gotta heat it,
Cold weather.
they gotta heat the gravel.
Sure.
Sure, in November. I think even in October.
Then, yeah.
So,
Can it wait a year?
Are you gonna say you're gonna be in the same predicament, because you're not gonna be gaining any more money anywhere?
so the concerns are, so this, I feel like we've been in this space before, right? So it's like, okay, costs go up, you know.
I absolutely understand.
Right?
That's not always.
Yeah, so, could it wait a year? Yeah, this is not, people are not in this space, being educated in this space, it's the front of the school, right?
I'm talking about combining this year's capital with next year's capital. And,
Sure,
and
we
from
could
there,
strategically,
that would be strategically better for a better fund balance and everything. I'm just saying is that.
the other part is, like, right now, we're carrying about $150,000 a year,
Correct.
right? So reality is, we've got all of $55,000 allotted this year. We could take a good portion of that out of next year's allocation
But we
and
got
make that
an
commitment
auditorium
now.
roof next year that we should be replacing.
But that, so what we need to do is come up with a capital maintenance plan, right? Take some of these hanging chads that are out there and place a priority on them, is what we need to do. I would say that this is gonna come the top priority, and the auditorium roof is gonna come. Those are the 2 pieces out of everything that we've been discussing that are gonna be right at the top. So we have studies that were done through the referendum process. We're going to start bringing these put together. Part of our key performance indicators actually in strategic planning stuff is to have that district plan for facilities. So I know that that's coming. Like, we wanted to do that, period. We have resources. We just had to focus on weekly meetings and let's get this project done and be as frugal as possible and get as much out of this project as we can. So, can the project wait? Everything can wait, you know. So that right now, it's not broken, right? There's not a pipe broken. There's not an electrical problem. The safety concern we have at the front, we can navigate that. We just did for the last year. So as far as like a compelling push, I think we'd like Mayville High School to not be a job site anymore at that level, you know. Could it wait until next year? It's asphalt, so it's not gonna get any better on its own. So
About $10,000-$15,000 more, because
So-
the average is about 5%.
But we can't quantify that yet. We don't have those numbers yet. So what we do have is we're waiting, and Travis is working really hard trying to get these numbers pulled together. And we have something to share, and now looking for guidance. So can something wait? Yeah, it can wait. Would we like it to be done as soon as possible? I think everybody who's been working on the project, absolutely. Get her done. Is it gonna cost more? Probably. I mean, to be fair, in the trades, that's what's been happening, period. So, but we don't have multiple bids. We have quotes from Findorf. We have something very concrete, no pun intended, right here from NHI. And then we had another company that said, hey, we're out, we don't have time for this. So maybe if we waited, they would have time for it. Maybe if we waited, NHI would say, we're out, we're not available then. So there's a lot of conversations to have. And as far as the beacon and the light here, we're looking for guidance from you and your comfort level with things. So I actually really appreciate what you've been saying and saying, hey, you know, ethically, you feel like you need these three or else. And then Dick, you're just transparent too, say, hey, that sounds great. Could you get us the lead for somebody who would do it? Because we tried and we weren't making a lot of progress. So it's good debate.
I don't want to see us spend a bunch of money patching up that driveway either, if that then next spring gets torn up. So, how comfortable are we right now with our referendum costs?
We're gonna find out tomorrow.
We're
It's
nearing
very tight.
completion.
It's very tight. The last time we had, so like I just heard us on the walkthrough, our focus on energy rebates coming in around 50. I think we're hoping for a little bit more than that. Our contingency, one meeting I heard that we're starting to shrink. So I would say that there's certainly not gonna be surplus. No way.
But we're within,
Don't think I'm incorrect on that one.
but our spending is within our referendum, anticipated referendum costs.
It's gonna be really tight. So right now, depending on the budget meeting, it's like right on the edge there. So these aren't big swings, these are tiny amounts. If you're talking about $25.1 million, we're talking like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 swings, like that. So at the next meeting, I'll definitely be able to dial that in. The project's supposed to be pretty much complete by the 1st. There have been no surprises in the last couple of weeks, so we should be able to wrap all that part of the process up. The bond interest seems to be locked in at $486,000, which was what we were thinking was going to be right around. So,
How did we not sustain hail damage on the auditorium? That would be the same event.
It did.
It did. Did we take a look at that? Didn't
I
we?
haven't taken a look at that.
Can we?
But they did.
Even though you might get a depreciated portion of that, but see
Absolutely.
if we could take a look at that as well.
there was a different product too for Parkview. So,
Sure.
yes, the whole
But
district.
take it
could
away if
have
it was
hail
the
damage.
same hail event.
Yeah, they even said that time, but I don't know if it didn't get followed through or what happened. That might have just been the time you got on, right?
Yeah, it was. That would be the perfect storm, quote, if that actually came in, you know, if it would be related to hail, to have damage on that. So obviously it worked out very well for us for Parkview. Parkview's roof we thought was in pretty good shape until the damage, like cosmetically looks nice. So, okay, so I hear wait, I hear urgency to get it done, I hear cost could go up, well, not that much. Looking for 3 solid bids. It feels wishy-washy, you know, is the deal. And so then, like, it's not a place that we want to be, so we're looking for more information from you on what would be some good, solid next steps.
I think letting us know about how the auditorium would come in, if there's hail damage or not, could be an important part as well.
I would,
That's just me.
I would feel more confident with one more bid.
I would too.
I'm surprised that Fleischman didn't bid, but, you know, as far as costs going up next year, I'm not, you know, pretty delayed. That doesn't.
Well, that's supply and demand in concrete, so.
That doesn't.
We're short supply.
Doesn't figure into my thought process. I know it's hard to find another contractor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I have no suggestions as to who, if.
Well, I try to keep it local,
Yeah.
but I can reach out to.
Let's
Milwaukee,
reach out
Madison.
more. And every time we keep, I know what our intention is always to keep it as local as possible. Maybe we should start taking a look out there. That way, it provides checks and balances
Sure.
for our local contractors. I think that's something to think about as well.
Absolutely.
If they're too busy right now to bid, and if we're waiting to get a third bid, is it worth going back to them, Weishman here, and say, hey, we might be
Yeah, for
putting
next
this
year,
off?
Yeah, oh yeah.
For next year, it's a whole different story.
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
He
We'll
just,
be able to bid.
he took on a road contract in Lamira with the city, so, or with the county, excuse me. And, so that's just chewing up his time. We've got a big commitment there.
I'm thinking just from the discussion though, some of it might be like, how long does the project take? If it's a 3-week window,
They, Town and Country wanted to start this week to get it completed for school.
yeah, so we're talking like month and a half.
Yeah.
There's sewer lines to lay in, or water, surface drain water lines to lay in. And then
Did you
everything would be
contact
dug out and
Paczynski
refilled.
over Beaverdale?
No, I did not. I just, you
They
know
do a
what,
lot of road work, so.
they do,
Aren't they mostly,
the,
blacktop?
Yeah.
they do subcontract out, excavation as well, so.
Now, Northeast does too, out of Fama. That you were talking, I was listening.
We're talking Paczynski.
Because Northeast out of Fama does it too.
All right.
They do everything.
I think, yeah. I don't think this is something we can rush into.
So it can kind of expand the area for requests for RFP for this. And then I would say it's like, what happens, this is not typical, it's atypical. What happens if you were to say, a bid for doing the project in the month of September, or October, and a bid for doing it, summer 2020? People do
Summer
that?
2020 would be elevated to cover any increases.
But at least you know, but I mean, then
Yeah.
you'd have information, because one, we could be a job site this fall in order to
Sure.
save some funds. I mean, if it's a $50,000 difference, $70,000 difference, I, just picking numbers here. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it would be worth it to say,
I'm not
okay,
sure.
the front of the school's a job site.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many contractors would be gained.
That's what I don't know.
But, you know, 'cause it-
Because they're usually book tied to
Right.
their idea to keep busy until winter.
and they want to cover themselves, but they don't want to price themselves out of the game, so.
So then, I guess, what are we going out to? So one would be is, what additional information do you need? Okay, so I heard at least one more bid, right? So we get one more bid, and we were able to get that, and it would be here, let's say, the last board meeting in August, right? We've got that bid, the extra bid. So then these numbers would be good. We'd have another bid that you could be looking at, and the work could commence in the month of September and October.